Hey, Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, for Hashem, Yahweh Shai, for Hashem, Wakah, HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone, Christ is truth, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Real quick, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, and verse 5. It says, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. All right? And starting off with our elders and apostles, the great millstone, and those men on down. All right, uh, that's what we're doing. All right, we are those prophets. All right, and the word prophesy means to say before. So the things that our elders and apostles on down have been teaching and preaching about for years, these things are taking place. All right, verse 5 I read again. It says, "Before I formed thee in the belly, he is this I." Right, this is Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right, this is the Lord, who you ignorantly call God. Okay. It says, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Before you was even thought about, shot up in there, marinated, right? It says, and before thou camest forth, like I said, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee, right? And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations, all right? So we've been telling you about these different famines, okay, that's coming to America. We've been telling you about the famine of food, which is a scarcity of food. Yeah, let's look at that word real quick. Scarcity. Scarcity. Scarcity is the fundamental economic problem of having seemingly unlimited human wants in a world of limited resources. Okay? So just going off the picture, all right, there's gonna be a scarcity of water, okay, on the west. It says scarcity is the fundamental economic problem of having seemingly unlimited human wants in a world of limited resources. Everybody and their mama want this, right? But it's only three niggas that got shit. The whole fucking state want it. It's only one nigga in the state that got it, right? It says because we cannot have everything we desire, scarcity forces individuals, businesses, and government to make choices about how to allocate resources, what to produce, and who gets to consume it. And this is just more control, right? From this level. But on the higher level, this is the Lord. And wanna something. The book of Isaiah, chapter 55 and verse 11, it says, verse 11 it says, so I'm gonna just read verse 10. It says, for as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater. All right, the Lord is saying so. The Lord is saying so. Just like it does this, right? This whole cycle. All right. Verse 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. Right. This whole cycle. Every word that the Lord spoke in the scriptures, it has come to pass. It is coming to pass, and it will be accomplished. Right. It says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void. Like, it's not just, it ain't like a nigga word in the world. Right? Nigga say the shit, you don't need him. You don't need him. Nigga be like, I'm about to air this bitch out. Ain't nobody move. Right? Everybody still ain't song. Ain't no music stopping nothing. Empty. This ain't that. Right? It says, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that. It says, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. All right? And this is the word of the Lord. All right?
Of the United States is now affected by drought? According to recent reports, around 63% of the country experienced drought conditions during spring 2026. States like Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, and even Washington, D.C. were entirely impacted. In Florida and Arkansas, more than 99% of the land faced moderate to extreme drought. Lakes dropped to unusually low levels, rivers weakened, and farmers across several states struggled to protect crops from dry conditions. Maps tracking the drought showed the situation spreading rapidly between January and May. Areas once considered safe from water shortages quickly turned dry as rainfall decreased and temperatures increased. Experts warn that these conditions could create serious economic consequences, especially for agriculture, energy production, and water supplies. The drought is also increasing the risk of wildfires across forests and grasslands already weakened by heat. Scientists say the combination of drought, extreme temperatures, and low snowfall may turn 2026 into one of the driest years the United States has experienced in decades.
Again, I think I brought this out earlier today. This is Ezekiel 4:16. It says, moreover, he said unto me, son of man, behold, I will break the staff. Oh, I don't think I brought this out. It says, moreover, he said unto me, son of man, behold, I will break the staff of bread in Jerusalem. In Jerusalem, and they shall eat bread by weight and with care, and they shall drink water by measure and with astonishment. Right? So there's a lot of uh, prophecies taking place, man. Right? There's also going to be a family of hearing his word. All right, let me get that. It's the book of Amos, chapter 8. Right? For all those who, man, we don't believe in that. Man, you believe in that? Or, man, you waiting on somebody to come out, like somebody will come out the sky? Like literally? Like literally? You say gonna come flying out the sky? Like, the scripture says, so what if some don't believe? Right? You don't care if you niggas don't believe. This ain't for you. That's all. There is a portion for you though, in the scriptures, in the movie. Yeah, you got your lot, you got your role. It just ain't this role, right? The role to believe that ain't this role, right? Your role in the movie is over here, right? But this Amos 8:11 it says, "Behold, the days come," saith the Lord, Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread. Although we just read it's going to be a famine, right? It says, nor a thirst for water, right? Although we just read that there is going to be a famine of water as well. It says, but of hearing the words of the Lord, all right? So there's going to be a famine of everything, man, right? More importantly, the wisdom that's coming from the elders and apostles and the men on down to get GMS, man. That's the truth of the matter. There's going to be a famine of hearing the word. There's going to be, as you can see, a famine of water. Here, let's go to the
Look,
what if you were told that you could not use water anymore? Well, this is a serious warning because this is exactly what
and I'm glad he said that because this truth is the water, right? This truth is the water, man, right? So our people don't know this truth, so therefore they don't have a vision. They can't see what's coming. They can't, they haven't read, right? They can't even wrap their minds around it, so to speak. Real quick, I'm gonna just read verse 12, Amos 8 and 12. It says, and they shall wander from sea to sea, from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it, man. All right. There's going to be a time when, very, very soon, in the near future, man, where the words of the Lord, the true words of the Lord, which are being spoken by the prophets of the Lord, okay, starting off with our elders and apostles, okay, there's going to be a time where you won't get that water, right? That good water, okay? You won't get that word of the Lord, that truth, that everlasting, right? You won't get that. And neither will you get this water. So that's it.
is happening in many cities across the United States. That in some cities, officials are telling the residents at no time can you ever water your lawn. Do not wash your car, and if you can, do not wash your clothes. That's what they're being told, and many people are freaking out, and rightfully so.
so what we
You know what? I just thought about one scripture a minute ago. There shall be stank. Let me see. That's the book of Isaiah 3 and 24. It says, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And instead of a girdle of rent, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of a well set hair, baldness, and instead of a stomacher, a girdle of sackcloth and burning instead of beauty. Right? But
People are freaking out, and rightfully so.
So what we have done is started as a voluntary closure of businesses and telling residents to only use water for emergency things, like hydrating yourself. What we're telling residents they should not be doing is laundry. Certainly no irrigation of lawns. It now currently has 33 feet. And it's rapidly.
Hundreds of thousands of people in Kent are facing.
We're going to have to drive to get water for potentially up to 2 weeks, as you just heard. We are deploying porta-johns in all of our parks. We will display where those are. You might choose to go use the facilities in a porta-john at a park. This is the real situation. People are going to have to drive to get water for potentially up to 2 weeks, as you just heard.
You hear that? You're gonna have to drive to get water, man. Right? But Scripture tell us that his servants shall eat. And look at that. The book of Isaiah, chapter 53, chapter 65, right here. And verse 13, it says, therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Who is the ye? All of those who didn't take heed to these words, right? All of those who um, have gotten away from their heads, right? It says, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be astonished. Right? And that's what do you think that's going to bring? Right? Water? No water? Oh, man. That's going to bring 2 Ezra 15. Let me get it. Right? Right? It says the man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. That's the book of 2 Ezra. Matter of fact, I'm gonna jump around. This verse 3. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Right. Those imaginations and incredulity is unbelief. Right. Those of you who don't believe, the sister said, say your unbelief. Okay. It says, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Okay. How can you not believe the words of the Lord? Right? How can you not? This ain't an ordinary book. This ain't Reader's Digest, some books. Helen Keller. Right? These ain't those books, man. It says for all the unfaithful to die in their unfaithfulness. You know. Matter of fact, let me grab this real quick. Romans 3 and 3. It says, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? Okay? And the answer to that is no. Alright? Yeah. Let me just grab it. I'm going to read it in NLT. Romans 3 and 3, it says, true, some of them were unfaithful, but just because they were unfaithful, does that mean the Most High will be unfaithful? Right? And the answer is no. Just because you are unfaithful, that don't mean the Lord's going to be unfaithful. He's faithful to his word. Right? Verse 4, it says, of course not. Even if everyone else is a liar, the Most High is true. As the scriptures say about him, you will be proved right in what you say, and you will win your case in court. All right. Well, back over here, 2 Ezra 15 and 5, it says, Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. The sword, which is Esau Edom, right? He is the sword of the Lord, man. He is that weapon of the Lord. He goes around uh, uh, putting nations into check, okay? He's the sword of the Lord. It says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, right? A lack of uh, food, a lack of water, a lack of power, right? These are famines. A lack of, hey, the Lord says it's going to be a famine of the word. A lack of the truth, a lack of the understanding. But it says famine, death, and destruction. And why is the Lord doing this? Or why is the Lord allowing this devil to do this? Right? For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. And therefore, and their hurtful works are fulfilled, right? Okay? Because wickedness has exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Okay, this is not a feel-good speech or teach, right? Or words. This is not a feel. This is a humble down and face down or face up. But you know what's up, like this is not that. This is not a proud prosperity. Your breakthrough is coming. You know, trust the Lord. This ain't that, man. It is, but not like that, right? Verse 8 it says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness. And how is the Lord not going to hold his tongue? He's going to allow these different earthquakes, right? Like what happened in Venezuela, right? He's going to allow these things to take place. He's going to do these things. Okay, don't nothing happen unless the Lord ordains it, unless He signs off on it, unless He okays it. Right? Don't nothing happen unless the Lord green lights it. Right? It says, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit. Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Right? See, the Lord know how to take a look at everybody. Okay? The Lord can give your ass too much water. Right? Flood. The Lord can give you not enough water. Hence what's taking place now. The Lord can give you too much heat. Hence Sodom and Gomorrah. Right? It says, in which they wickedly exercise themselves, behold, the innocent and the righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually. Right? We are the just, man. We the only ones that complain about the wickedness that take place here under the current ruler. Okay, under the basis of them. Right? No one else is. Well, you starting to see different protests and this, that, and the third, but for the most part, no one's crying out for Israel. No one's crying out about Israel. Right? But this is the part I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna read verse 12. It says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that the Most High shall bring upon it. Right? This is spiritual Egypt, man. Right? It says they shall till the ground, or they that till the ground shall mourn. Right? Hey, a lack of water, you ain't getting nothing. What's coming up? Ain't Ain't nothing coming up out that dirt if you ain't got no life, right? If ain't no life into it, right? It says, right here, it says that the Most High shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blastings and hail and with the fierce constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Right? This is talking about civil unrest, civil wars, gender wars. This is talking about all the just everybody just right. Everybody just wigging, just snapping. You go outside, everybody run around popping each other, shanking each other, shit on fire, right? People hollering, cars just flying past with niggas with masks on and and goo gaga shit, just stupid shit. It says for there should be sedition among men, right? These people don't like. I want to see how this gonna play out. Them niggas gonna get stupid. No water. Nigga, ever since you put these motherfucking joints up there, we ain't got no water. Them niggas gonna act crazy. It says for there should be sedition among men and invading one another. Right. Coming up in your house while you there. Fuck all that. They ain't gonna be waiting to the lights off and you fall asleep or till you go to work, right? As soon as you pull up, what's up? Right? Come on. Let's just go on ahead. Don't make a scene, man. Don't do all that. It says, in invading one another, they should not regard their kings or princes like governors and your chief of staff and your mayors on TV. Hey, don't just relax. New people, take it calm. We're gonna, right? They ain't hearing that. Where you at? Yeah. We gonna protest. Yeah. You on your side, buddy. Yeah, we gonna tell everybody keep it cool. Where you at? Yeah. Drop your low. Yeah, just where you at, man. It says in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the cities shall be destroyed. Right? They're gonna set this bitch up. And the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have and for all you old real nigga, I'm a stupid nigga. I don't care about none of it, nigga. Right? Hey, the scripture says, even mighty men are gonna be afraid, man. You know? But verse 19, the man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Like all that old, my nigga, we grew up, no, all that's out the window. No water? Man, I ain't had no water 5 days. You talking about France? France? Bitch, you hear me? France? Nigga, my kids ain't had no water in 2 weeks. Hey, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Okay? Any killing instrument. They drive their fucking truck to your shit. If that's what's gonna get us through there so we can breach that bitch and get up in there, that's what they gonna do. They gonna pull that bitch out. A bunch of niggas gonna and spoil their goods because of and why? Spoil means to rob you. Your goods is what? Everything that's valuable in your house. And that time is gonna be food, water, right? You may be valuable. Your daughter, right? Whatever you got a gun, big bag, what, clothes? It says to spoil their goods because of what? Because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? This is a part of this devil coming down with great wrath, right? Because you know that he have for a short time. This is a part of his cause of all, right?
We are deploying porta-johns in all of our parks. We will display where those are. You might choose to go use the facilities in a porta-john at a park. This is the real situation. People are going to have to drive to get water for potentially up to 2 weeks, as you just heard. We are deploying porta-johns.
Hey, the elders and apostles, man, some on down, they've been teaching about this for years. You hear me? For years, man. Niggas be talking shit, Marcus guy saying, hey, you scared that. Oh, bring into something. Y'all, hey, real quick, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and verse 21. It says, behold, this will be so good peace upon earth. Right? All of your goodies, your perks, your meats, your trips, everything that you got, your water, just your living, right? Everything's perfect, everything's, you just living in pleasure, right? It says, behold, victory shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good things, right? While you can still go here and do this and do that, right? You think everything is good. It says, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, right? Even as you're sicking and jiving, evils are still growing in the background, right? Saying in the background. It says, the sword, famine, right? The sword, we know who the sword is. Famine, and look what he's bringing. Look what he's bringing, man. Right? Famine, when have you heard about this? Where have you heard about this at first? Right? It says, for many of them that dwell upon, like it says, sword, famine, and great confusion, right? Niggas gonna be like, what? 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 What the fuck? What? But his brain ain't gonna start, shit just gonna start malfunctioning. You know what I'm saying? You gonna start having shortages and shit. This nigga, it's like my thing work, but it don't work. I looked at my phone, I seen the little lightning bolt. It looked like it say it's charging, right? The bitch ain't charging. But it says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, right? These are judgments of the Lord. And the scripture say that these were sent to score just for a minute, right? And niggas ain't gonna get right, man. Niggas ain't gonna get right. Niggas ain't gonna get right. They ain't trying to hit water. How's that? Right? Water, you just gonna do this. Shit. They're gonna, like the elder, some of y'all always bring out, idiocracy. Idiocracy, right? They ain't water. Shit, we'll just drink Gatorade. We'll just drink Gatorade, right? It says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, man. Hey, this is the evil time that we're living in, right? A perilous time that we're living in, man. Tailless meaning dangerous. No water? You talking about you gotta go to work? You gotta go to work? All these people, you see how big this...
Hundreds of thousands.
Look,
Did you know nearly 2/3 of the United States is now
Look at that. That's all that red and I think that yellow. All these farms, what you think about that? Shit about to get swallowed up. Niggas about to get swallowed up. Right? Tailless, man. Shut on.